I want to make some comments about process because as much as anything, I'm really engaged in the whole sense of process and what that means. So my personal process is a juxtaposition / dialogue between the process of collage and making them physically, and then also the site-specific location. So every 2 to 3, 4, 5 months, I make a series of anywhere from 60 to 100 collages without any association to land or place or object, only a juxtaposition of, first of all, structure, starting out quite simply, and then also creating a sense of chance, both of those juxtapositions of shapes, but also color combinations. And that leads me to a place where I look for, at that point when I do these collage pieces, I look for a juxtaposition between them and the site-specific location that I start with, or that I both draw from and photograph, oftentimes the same location 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 times over changing lights and even seasons. And that just provides me a structure from which to communicate between the two things. So oftentimes, or almost exclusively, the color that ends up in these pieces does not come from the land itself, but comes from the collage. And I intentionally try to make the collage pieces happen to a degree in my process by chance. I force myself to make sure that I'm making choices by chance, even to the point of turning pieces of paper and colored images upside down and having to use them. So they become this surprise, challenging, rewarding, but sometimes irritating juxtaposition of things. And that's surprising. And that place as a start creates a dialogue between the site-specific location or landforms and then the color that juxtaposes off of it. So the blues, which you can see, or the piece that's behind me, the smaller vertical white one, this was really just about January, and we've had a little bit of white. But it was about a place, and it was thinking about a map and whatever. So it did have a very slight specific location. There's a small stream that goes through it, but it was really about walking and time and moving through it, and over time of walking and challenging, sometimes on the icy sidewalks we've been dealing with. But it was really, in great part, a dialogue between what the collage was that I found or made, and then this site-specific spot. And the same is true for the larger one that's on my left, which is also related to sort of simple field shapes right outside of our community, and then a conversation that happened between these horizontal structures, spots of land without snow in, for instance, could be, but also I'm really interested in circular shapes and sort of the unity and the wholeness of what circles represent. And so there's this conversation, I think, personally, between organic and geometric and structure and land and shape. And so ultimately I'm thinking about process and physical paint handling and how those things interact, because I love process and both the invention of what the image is, but also the physical process of making it, because I literally do not know what it's going to look like when I begin. And even halfway through, it's just a continual conversation.